Good morning. A new study of decades of data has found that at the rate it's being used, the groundwater underneath Loudoun is no longer sustainable as a source of water. For Thursday, October 9th, it's your Loudoun Now Morning Minute. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rince Green. For nearly 4 decades, developers in Loudoun's rural areas have been required to conduct groundwater studies to submit to the county government. In that time, the county has gathered more than 200 such records, but little had been done to evaluate that trove of data until recently. A group assembled by the Loudoun County Preservation and Conservation Coalition has gone through that and other data and has published a 57-page assessment of groundwater data. The group started with an eye toward developing a plan to ensure there would be water to support farmers and rural businesses over the long term. The question now is whether that's even possible. Quoting from the report, groundwater conditions in Loudoun County have significantly worsened over the past several decades. Groundwater as a water supply is no longer sustainable as the water table has slowly declined and several droughts have caused some wells, springs, and ponds to dry up. End quote. On top of the droughts, the study points to a silent shift, changes in land use and residential development that have reduced the amount of precipitation, recharging the groundwater supply by 5 to 10%. The report's authors are 3 longtime county residents. David Ward, a hydrologist who worked as a water resource engineer for the county government for more than 2 decades. Andrew Stoddard, a nationally recognized water quality monitoring expert from Hamilton. And John Adams, who's operated his farm near Luckett's for 50 years. The Loudoun County Preservation and Conservation Coalition is calling for a more comprehensive effort to evaluate, understand, and regulate groundwater. Ward, one of the study authors, said our neighboring counties are ahead of us in understanding the problem. One suggestion they make is to develop more monitoring wells. At one time, the county government had plans to operate 35 to 40 monitoring wells, but today there are only 14. The report looked at 50 years of data on replenishing those underground stores of water, which is where they found that groundwater recharge has dropped by 5 to 10% over the past 50 years. Over that same period of time, the number of wells in Loudoun jumped from less than 5,000 to more than 17,000. From 1999 to 2007, Loudoun was drilling about 800 new wells a year. And today, 90% of those wells are within 500 feet of each other, meaning they're drawing from the same water source. In areas of Loudoun, the water table, which is essentially how far down you have to drill to hit water, has sunk by as much as 40 feet in the past 25 years. The report concludes groundwater resources in Loudoun County cannot be sustained under existing practices, monitoring, management, and planning. Adverse conditions for water resources will only worsen with climate change. End quote. Ward said that's a call to action. He said it's time to take a look at this because there's too much at stake. Go to loudounnow.com/Morning Minute to check out the whole story. In other news, after nearly a decade of work, Inova Loudoun Hospital's Verts Miller Family Emergency and Trauma Center has been designated a Level 2 trauma center. That designation essentially means they're able to provide immediate care for all injured patients 24 hours a day, instead of having to send some patients to another hospital, in Loudoun's case to Fairfax. There are 5 levels of trauma center, with Level 1 trauma centers being the most comprehensive in terms of what they can do. Department of Emergency Medicine Chairman Dr. Edward Puccio said operating a Level 2 trauma center will make a big difference in the community and reassures him that everyone is getting the excellent care that they deserve close to home. Sterling-based Cardinal Plumbing, Heating, and Air is partnering with the American Red Cross to host its first ever community blood drive next Tuesday, October 14th. It'll be at Cardinal headquarters at 104 Carpenter Drive from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can find more information at cardinalplumbingva.com or make an appointment at redcrossblood.org/give. And 8 women's clubs from across Northern Virginia, including the Junior Women's Club of Loudoun, have joined to donate clothing and handmade items to support patients at the Forensic Nurse Examiner Program at Centera Northern Virginia Medical Center in Woodbridge. The program provides specialized, compassionate care to survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. Many patients arrive at the hospital with only the clothes they were wearing at the time of their trauma. The donation includes underwear, socks, sweatshirts, pants, hats, scarves, blankets, and more. Get the full story on this and all these stories over at loudounnow.com. On today's Get Out Loudoun calendar, Tejas Singh is playing Spanky's Shenanigans in Leesburg today starting at 6 p.m. Check out the rest of the events calendar at getoutloudoun.com. And if you like the Morning Minute, sign up to give blood and tell the person handing out the snacks and juice boxes about the podcast and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and it'll be waiting for you there every morning. Okay, have a great day.